everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Robin, or Hobbit's Reading List, and this week is the week of Thanksgiving, and I don't really do much for Thanksgiving, especially because I don't have any family coming up or anything, so really this week is about us relaxing because of the holiday. Everything is slowing down, people are, off celebrating, and so work should be slower. And that means that I can focus on the various things that I need to get done, including my November TBR. So let's just get right into that. So I want to be clear, I'm not actually finishing my November TBR. There are two books that I know for sure I'm not going to read, which are the Count of Monte Cristo and Feasting and Fasting, because it's nonfiction and it would just take me a really long time. I will eventually read them. And so because of that, I'm not finishing TBR. But I will be working on finishing Heavy Weather, the P.G. Wodehouse book. And if I have time, I will read, the Cleveland Heights sci-fi and fantasy role-playing game book. It's only 300 pages, so it depends on if I have time, but Heavy Weather is kind of my priority. But I still have homework this week. I have to put together a research proposal for one of my final papers. I have a fanfic event that is due this weekend. So I have some other things I need to accomplish that have deadlines. I need to film my December TBR and edit it. So I have other things. But I did read a bit of Heavy Weather today. I read about 4 chapters, which took me 2.5 hours. It was slow going. But I'm at I think I'm 72% through, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And Heavy Weather, because I didn't talk about it in last week's vlog, which is my bad. So Heavy Weather is a direct continuation of Summer Lightning, which is a Blandings Castle novel. And Heavy Weather continues the plot, or most of the plot from Summer Lightning. So in Heavy Weather, we have the Earl of Emsworth, Clarence, who is very concerned about his prize-winning pig, the Empress of Blandings, being stolen. And so he has some kind of paranoia, in combination with his just empty-headedness, which he's my favorite character, so I say that lovingly. So he has a lot of paranoia about that. And then we have this guy named Monty who gets the job as Clarence's secretary. So Clarence is very suspicious, especially because Monty is the nephew of the guy who is most likely to kidnap the Empress. But Monty is there because he needs to hold down a job for a year in order to show the girl that he loves, her father, that he can be responsible, that he's not just this little rich kid. So he's doing that. And what are the other plots? Oh, there's also Sue and Ronnie, who got engaged in the last book, but Sue is a chorus girl, and so Ronnie's mother is not supportive. Sue also happens to have previously been engaged to Monty, so there's some misunderstandings there. What else is there? Oh, and then there's also sort of the main plot that is bringing a lot of these other plots together, is the reminiscences, the memoir of the adolescent and early adulthood life of Galahad, who is Clarence's brother. Now, this has the potential to make other members of the peerage look really bad for what they did when they were younger. And so some people are trying to prevent that being published. Some people are trying to get it published. And they're all the plots are intertwining. So that's Heavy Weather. It's very fun, it's very chaotic, and it's very hectic. I'm really enjoying it. I said this last week and I stand by it. There's not enough clearance. Like, I'm getting everyone else. I'm like, I just want to hear this old guy talk about his pig. That's all I want. Because to me, that's the most amusing part. No, it's still very fun. It's slow going. I personally think that if there's more clearance, I would be reading it faster. It's just my theory. But it is a good book. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of what else. I can't really talk about anything that I've read today because we're past the halfway point, so anything would be a spoiler. But that's about it. Like I said, I'm pretty much just focusing on heavy weather this week, so talking about it is going to be super interesting. I am going to include some clips after this that I took last night. I went to a concert with my friend Amy to see one of their like childhood favorite bands, and I had a really good time. It was really fun. I walked along the river in Chicago, took some very, beautiful videos of the buildings and everything. And then we actually went to a meet and greet with the band, and so we met them, and then we did like a sip and paint, which was really funny. And then, yeah, we saw the opening band, and then their touring with Saves the Day, who I had also never really listened to, but I really like them, and Senses Fail, when they came on, like, they're awesome performers. So it was a really good time. I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm like, you know what? If I'm at a concert, I need to be able to sit down. I need a seat. Because it was general admission, and, like, if you got VIP through the venue, because we got VIP through the concert to meet the band, but if you get VIP through the venue, you get a seat or a box, because it was at House of Blues, which is an awesome venue. No, it was a really good time. I'm a little sore today. My feet do really hurt. But no, I'm glad that we did it. I thought it was really cool, and I loved getting to see, Amy just enjoy, a band that clearly had like a huge impact on her life. So yeah, it was really great. Yeah, so you'll see clips of that, and then I guess I'll talk to you again when I read more of Heavy Weather. Who knows when that will be? Hi guys. So it is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, which means that work is low. I only have like 2 more hours left, and I can do it from home, so yay. However, I did finish Heavy Weather. I had read the 4 chapters yesterday, obviously, and then today, while I was going to work, I managed to knock the rest out, so that's really awesome. I did enjoy it. I think I said this before, like, Blanding's Castle is probably one of my favorite series by Wodehouse. Actually, I would say it is definitely my favorite series from Wodehouse. And a lot of that is due to Clarence, because I just love that old guy. He's so much fun. He's just so silly. And he just wants to be, left alone to, like, do his hobbies, and he's not able to do that. And it makes me feel for him. But I can't really say much because, I finished the book and I don't want to give away spoilers. I would say they ended well. I'm satisfied. I think that there were some characters that shouldn't have got quite such a happy ending. There were a couple characters that like really bugged me. But it's fine. The characters that I cared about are happy, and I'm happy with that. So I gave it 4 stars, and for probably the first time, I have finished the book. How to phrase this? I have finished the book before my dad by a significant amount. However, he has also read this book before, so we could flip around and say that he has finished it before me by a significant amount, by like years. So, but I feel pretty happy about that. I'm glad that listening to it was actually helpful. I think I actually took more notes than maybe I would have. Maybe, I don't know. But I feel pretty good about that. Unfortunately, the next book that we will be talking about on our podcast is, I think it's The Golden Bat, and it's one of his school stories, which is not my favorite. Not my dad's either. But it also seems like it's not available on audiobook. So I was like, oh, this is so awesome. And of course, like the very next book, I can't do that. Which means that reading it is going to be slow. So there's that. I've just finished a homework assignment. I have 2 more meetings for work, and then I'm done for tonight. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving, but it's just Chris and I, so we're not like spending all day cooking or anything. Like we'll probably start cooking in like the afternoon or something. So if I've decided, if my spinning wheel tells me to read, then I will start reading the Cleveland Heights role-playing game book. However, if before it does that, if it tells me to fill my TBR, I'm going to do that. And then it tells me to read, then I will read a book from my December TBR. So that's sort of how I'm going to figure things out. We'll just see what happens. I might not read tomorrow. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. And then Friday is also a very light day. I only have 1 meeting, and I'll be working from home. So I essentially have a 3-day weekend. Kind of. So hopefully I will be able to get quite a bit of stuff done. But that's my little reading update. I'm very tired. Very, very tired. I made tea. Not that you can really see it. And I'm hoping that gives me energy to finish up work. So I'm going to get into that, and I will talk to you next time I read something. Hi everyone. So I haven't read since I finished Heavy Weather. Well, I have read. I've read 3 parashot from the Torah, which is like 3 sections of the Torah. So I'm caught up to this week, but I'm not really talking about that. But I want to know I have been reading. I know what book I'm going to start next. I'm not trying to avoid it, but I had Thursday off because it was Thanksgiving. I mostly had yesterday off. I had 1 meeting, and I was very productive yesterday. Honestly, I was very surprised. What did I do? I read the 3 sections of the Torah, and then I finished the fic that I've been working on, which is good because it was due tomorrow night. And the person that I partnered with has also finished their art, and it looks gorgeous. So I'm very happy about that. And then I started working on my research proposal for my final paper from one of my classes. And that took up, honestly, I think that took up like about 3 hours. One, because I had to call my dad to like talk through narrowing down the topic that I was going to write about. And then I had to find, peer-reviewed sources to back up my argument, but my argument is apparently like unsearchable. Like, I tried so many different variations of the search terms, and I was coming up with, like, jack shit. So, that was frustrating. So, I took... It took about 3 hours, and then Chris got home. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then we went grocery shopping, which was surprisingly empty for the day after Thanksgiving. I was expecting to be busier. I was, for like 2 weeks now, I've been planning to go see Wicked yesterday. And I had decided to not do that. One, because it was the day after Thanksgiving. I figured the movie theater would be actually very busy. Two, I had a lot of stuff to do. And three, I just didn't want to spend the money right now. I don't get paid till probably next Thursday. So the money in my account, I kind of need to just not spend extra right now. So I will probably go see it like in 2 weeks or so on like an actual, like one of my days off, like on a Monday or Thursday. So people are still in school and work and everything, so it won't be that busy. So all that to say, I have not read. I've not read. Like I said, I know what I'm reading next. I know what my next audiobook is, so I will start it tomorrow. I'm going to start The Sins on Their Bones. Other than that, yeah. The book I'm going to read is The Merriest Misters. But I just don't know if I'll start it today because I have to finish my research proposal, which involves reading the articles that I did find and explaining why they will be helpful, which will be some bullshitting on my part. Honestly, but I have a writing date with my friend Alice tonight, so that's what I'm going to work on during it. I'm going to work on my research proposal, so I'm not too stressed about that. But also it's Saturday. Chris and I usually hang out Saturday. We're probably going to go antiquing a little bit, so we'll see. Yeah, I just felt bad that I hadn't filmed because I hadn't read, and so I'm like, well, I did read. But I'm about to start recording the podcast with Dad, which will take a decent amount of time, probably like 3 hours. So my day is just rapidly just going away. So we'll see if I read. You know, maybe after my writing day, if I finish my research proposal, maybe I'll read then. Because I don't really have any... Like, that should be the last of... Well, not the last of my deadlines, because I have a final paper. But, like, for this weekend, that should be the last of my deadlines. So, we'll see. But I will definitely be starting an audiobook tomorrow. So, I will check in with you after I do that. Hey, everyone. It's probably going to be short because I'm not in the best mood right now. I'm extending this vlog by a couple days because, well, one, I'm posting my December TBR tomorrow on the 3rd instead of on the 1st. And so this vlog is going to go up on Friday. So I'm extending it just a little bit. And then this weekend I'll film sort of an abbreviated vlog, but I'm going to try to make it like nearly as long as like my average vlogs because it's my birthday weekend. And so hopefully I will have lots of fun things to to talk about. But I did start listening yesterday to The Sins on Their Bones. I'm at, I think, 22% through. And so The Sins on Their Bones has 3 perspectives. We have Dimitri, who is the exiled king of this kingdom. He was betrayed by his husband, Alexei, who is the other perspective. Alexei has undergone some sort of magical transition that he's now immortal and kind of evil, although it sort of seems like it sort of seems like he wasn't really the best guy before this happened. But he staged a coup against Dmitri and like took over the throne, which led to Dmitri's exile. Dmitri has really struggled with this betrayal, and he has like 4 people with him that were part of his court, and they're pretty much just in hiding. And then the other perspective that we get is Vasily, I think, who is Dmitri's spy master, and he is not able to get enough information where they are in hiding, and so he decides that he will sneak back into the kingdom and into Alexei's court to get more helpful information, which Dmitri is not thrilled about because it's a huge risk to Vasily's life. There's also it has some dark themes. Like, it seems like Dmitri was abused by Alexei before this transformation even happened. There's also some spicy scenes, which like are pretty well done. I'm trying to understand the relationships. It seems like Dmitri and Vasily have a friends with benefits kind of arrangement, and Alexei has his own, I'm going to say friends. I don't think he's capable of having friends. So, like, he has his own arrangement with someone at court. So, yeah, so that's pretty much, and Alexei might be raising an army to invade some neighboring areas or do something. He's raising an army, but we're not sure for what yet. So that's sort of what's going on there. I'm intrigued. I'm trying to come up with questions because I am leading a book club meeting about this book, and so I'm trying to come up with stuff. But I have like over a month until that happens, so I'm not super concerned. So I'm glad to be getting it done now. But I am enjoying it. I usually don't read dark things, and I don't know if it's going to get darker. I kind of hope not, but we'll see. Other than that, in a huge tonal shift, I also started reading the Merriest Misters yesterday. I read about 70-ish pages, and it's kind of sad. Like, if my TBR will have been out already, but like, if you've watched my TBR, the Merriest Misters is about a couple that have been together for like, I think like 5-6 years, and they just got married the year before. And since they got married, their relationship has suffered the strains of essentially being adults and like a house and mortgage and jobs and family obligations and all this sort of stuff. And so their relationship has become very roommate, and neither of them are happy. And so they're sort of at this point of like, I don't know what to do. But then Patrick sort of attacks Santa and kind of has to take over that role, very much like the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. And Quinn, his husband, goes along with him because, like, even though their relationship is strained, they still, care about each other. And essentially the plot is that they give themselves a year to see if, like, in the midst of being Santa and trying to make sure that Christmas continues away from their normal stressors, if they can save their marriage. But the first 70 pages is kind of sad because it's all about that background, and it's like, oof. So because I'm not in like the best mood, I think for the rest of the night I'm just gonna read the Merriest Misters and hope that it gets more cheery. But that's sort of my plan, and then tomorrow I'll just get back to like normal stuff. So I'll let you know what happens. Well, not what happens, but I'll let you know how the Merriest Mister comes along probably tomorrow morning. Good morning, everyone. So it is Wednesday. I didn't read anything yesterday, but I read a lot on Monday. So I'll talk about that in a second. I think today's probably be the last day of the vlog. I'm not ending it right now. I'll check in tonight. But that way I can start the birthday vlog on my day off, because that feels like it makes more sense. Also, so I can edit tomorrow. Okay. So I read a lot of the Merriest Misters. I think I have like around 100 pages left of the book. I am enjoying it. It's very cute. Something that I realized that was kind of bothering me was that, like, so the novel's taking place over the span of a year. Obviously, we're not going to get every minute. But we're also, I don't know how to, we're jumping a lot. Like, we're jumping by, like, weeks. Like, weeks will go by and then it'll be like, oh yeah, this thing happened and it went well. But now there's this thing that makes me nervous. And then the next chapter will be like, this thing happened and it went well. And it's like, and it just keeps doing that. So, like, there's not really been a conflict for a minute, which, like, that's fine. I don't need a conflict. But it's also, like, the external stressors that they each are dealing with are also not bothering them, or are very, very easily resolved, and they're resolved off page. And so, like, I don't know, because, like, I don't have an issue with, like, a cozy book that has no conflict. That does not bother me. But I guess if I'm reading one of those, I still expect to be reading about the coziness and no conflict, instead of just, like, constantly jumping through time. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just, I don't know, it's just a little frustrating because I'm not getting everything, and, like, it feels, I think maybe this is it. It feels like I'm being told. I'm being told instead of shown, which, like, I don't necessarily need, but when it's so blatant like this, where it's literally like, oh, that thing that we spent an entire chapter stressing about, that was fine. Like, it was like, well, then show me the thing. Show me the thing that it wasn't that stressful. It was actually all fine, and show me that. Yeah, so like, I am enjoying it. It's very cute. I enjoy seeing Patrick and Quinn be closer and be more vulnerable with each other and sort of fall in love again. I just don't think I like this author's storytelling, and I'm trying to decide, like, at what point do I just stop trying? Because if you watch my TBR, I talked about, like, having read 2 other books by this author, and they were fine. They were fine the way that this is fine, in that I enjoy it for the most part, but there's a big-ish thing that bothers me. So, I don't know. At what point do I just stop trying? But I will finish it. I'll take it with me to work today. I have kind of a busy day. I have, like, 1 additional meeting than I normally would, but I still have some free time in the middle of the day. So, like, maybe I'll read, but I also do have to work on homework. I would like to get ahead on homework a little bit, actually, because my birthday is on Saturday, and so I don't want to I don't want to be doing homework on my birthday. That sounds like it would suck. And and Chris invited me to a thing on Sunday night for his work, so I can't even, like, do my usual thing where I procrastinate to the last minute. So I really need to work on that. But yeah, so I will either read or work on homework, but I also have all of tomorrow. I think I only have, like, 1 meeting, and I'm just planning out loud now. So I'm gonna hurry and, well, not hurry. I'm gonna make breakfast and, you know, finish getting dressed and everything. And then on my way to and from work, I will listen to Sins on Their Bones and potentially read more of the Merriest Misters. I will not end this vlog without having finished that book. I will say that. Even if I don't read it today, I will try to read it tomorrow morning and just, like, knock it out so I can wrap up this vlog with finishing it. All right, sounds like a plan. So I will check in within the next, like, 26 hours. Hi, everyone. Alright, so it's Thursday night. It's almost 7. I had to write there's this one piece of hair that's just, like, there. I had to write a paper for most of the day, so... But I just finished reading the Merriest Misters. Okay, so... Like I mentioned earlier with the other 2 books that I've read by this author, it was fine. It was fine. I gave it a 3. I'm just going to say that right now. I gave it a 3-star. Sorry, I had to change the lighting on me. So, yeah, I gave it a 3-star. The pacing really bothered me. I think I talked about that already. Of just, like, there are a lot of just, like, time jumps, and so nothing's actually... We're not being shown anything be resolved. And that was the case for the third act conflict as well. And... trying to avoid spoilers, I felt like both of them, Patrick and Quinn, had their flaws, had some faults, that they became very introspective, they became very self-aware of those faults, and then they just did the same thing that they always did towards the end. So I'm like, okay, so you're self-aware of things that you've already done, but not how the things that you're doing are still not helpful. Like, oh, it was just so frustrating. So I didn't feel like there was any character growth, really. And all of the things that they became aware of like their faults, they were things that we were told, not shown. So I'm thinking about this, and as I'm talking about it, and granted this is very fresh, I want to downgrade my rating. Because I'm just like, that's so frustrating. Maybe it's because I needed to, like, verbally process for a second. I don't think that warrants a 3-star. I think that at least brings it down to a 2.5. Like, which is still fine. Definitely a book I want to read again. Which is so frustrating. I just think I can't read this author anymore, but they come up with a great premise. That's what sucks me in, is the premises are fun. And I love the movie The Santa Claus. And so this was right up my alley. But then it just went downhill. Like, pretty much as soon as they went to the North Pole. Because that's when the time jump started. It just didn't make sense. Yeah. And I just realized, I was thinking of, like, at the end, there were 2 examples, one from each, of, like, how they hadn't actually, like, grown. But there was one character that actually had 2, where they did a thing that they did in the very beginning of the book. Okay, it's a 2.5. It's 2.5. I'm just gonna knock it down. That's so frustrating. Yeah, I think I just have to stop buying this author. And if my friend Stephanie is watching, if we go book shopping together and you see me have a book by Timothy Janovsky, tell me to put it down. She didn't know before, but, like, I'm telling her now. Yeah. Not the way I wanted to end this vlog, but I did finish a book, so that's good. But I'm gonna wrap up the vlog. I'm gonna try to forget this book. I would rather it just be bad. To me, it's like, if I read a bad book, I can be like, whew, that was bad, and just, like, kind of, like, hate read it, or just DNF it. But, like, this being mediocre, that annoys me more. I'll have to examine why. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this vlog. I still have to edit, because it's going out tomorrow. I'm so tired. I've been just, like, working on a paper all day, and then I read the last 50 pages of the book, and now I'm here. So I'm gonna do that, and then, like, finish up some work stuff, and cook, and then just relax before I go to bed. But thank you everyone for watching. I really wish I ended this on like a yay, I loved it kind of note, but I didn't. And that's okay. That happens sometimes. So yeah, so I'm gonna wrap the vlog up and get to relaxing before my birthday weekend. But leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell, all that good stuff. Make sure you check the next vlog because it's my birthday and hopefully it'll be super fun. And super fun but brief. It's just gonna be a weekend. So that'll be fun. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.